Welcome to the American Nomad Podcast, hosted by the legend himself, or as I refer to him, the legend in his own mind, Rav Holly.
What is up, everybody? It is the American Nomad, Rav Holly. Thank you for joining me Monday for this Monday. What is it, October 12th? Monday, October 12th show. I do appreciate it. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. Let me know, Random Nomad. Amy Preston, hey guys, how are you? Bad sound, of course it is. And how about now? Oh, crackle. That's not good. Anyway, no better. Move on over here to the other screen. Let's see if I can get the sound going right. I was going to be on here right on time, but I went to, it's like there's a short in the mic. I was actually going to be on right on time, but I clicked to start the podcast and it wouldn't even come on. I was having like a display driver problem. It wouldn't even start. So one thing after another, it looks like. Well, it shows the driver to be the right driver. Too much reverb in the mic. And how about now? Maybe it was just peaking. Zero everything out. Let me know what it sounds like now. No difference. Well, maybe this show just wasn't meant to be today. Like interference sound. How about now? Sound any different? I haven't really changed, damn, oh well, working on that stream without issues. Yeah, I'm about over this streaming thing. This may be the last one. I don't know what could have happened to my mic. I don't know what happened to my video settings. Everything, I went to stream and I clicked it and it wouldn't even stream, so I just spent 30 minutes trying to figure out like what was going on. Let me look here. Give me a second. me know if that sounds any different. The music had it too. Intro was okay. That's weird. I don't know. And how about now? Still same thing? Let me turn my mixer off and back on. All right, any difference or the same? Still the same? Testing 1, 2, testing 1, 2, 3. Still got the same issue. Better. Okay, cool. I just turned the mixer off and turned it back on. Well, that's weird. Before that, it was video. I went to start the stream and it wouldn't start. It said your video driver is not loading. Oh, it's clear now. Okay. Well, all I did was turn the mixer off and turn it back on. How about that? Took me 12 minutes to figure that out. And I have no idea why that happened. So is it loud and clear now? Just a little quiet, but all good. And how about now? Is that better? I can turn the volume up a little bit. Zero everything out. That should be better. Got the volume turned way up. Better? Okay, good. All right, cool. Anyway, is that gray hair in the back of your head? Probably. I'm 50 years old. I wouldn't doubt it. It's all good, Random Nomad. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. We might do this podcast after all. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm getting right down to my last wit with this live broadcasting. I may do it from now on. I spent today, like hours today, trying to get this alert system working properly and the chat working, and now the chat's not even working on the regular screen that it usually works on. So it's just maybe I'm just not smart enough to do this stuff anymore. Anyway, if you don't know, or if you've looked at my thumbnail, the big fad right now on YouTube is all of the big YouTubers that are putting in their video feed that they're making videos that they're leaving California. There's so many of them that are leaving California. So that's the big clickbait thing that's going on right now. Hold on a second, I'm trying to get up here to change this overlay and take this chat off, which I probably won't be able to do it live. I'm going to try it. I always have to take it off because it never works. I set it up and then it doesn't work. I spend like 4 hours looking at YouTube videos trying to get it to work, thinking it's going to work, but I can't test it. So then I have this box over here on the side that you see. They're supposed to be, so the room chat, which is on the side over here, is supposed to be in this, if you see this gray box on the screen, that's actually supposed to be the chat. I can never get it to work. Amy says, my next video I'll put up, I'm leaving California. Yeah, you should do that, Amy. That's the big fad right now. That's what, of course, a lot of these people, Ben Shapiro is moving to Nashville. Joe Rogan moved to Austin, Texas. Got several YouTubers. There's another Graham Stevens, I think's his name, is moving to Las Vegas. He grew up in, just like Ben Shapiro, he grew up here in California, has lived in California all of his life, and he just bought a house in Las Vegas. So there are a ton of YouTubers that are leaving California. And I'm going to be one of them, but I'm just leaving to head to Texas for my brother's wedding this weekend. And probably going to be a quick turnaround. Missed your stream last couple of days. Everything good? Okay now. Yeah, I had some really bad luck last week and kind of took the wind out of my sails. And so I had to just take a couple of days off, regroup. Thought I had the stream thing all streamlined. But just when you think you've got it all figured out. No, I'm actually going to drive Random Nomad. I decided to drive because I have a dog. And it'd be too hard to be able to take him on the plane. You got to do like a crazy vaccination thing to be able to take him on the plane. So I'm just going to drive. Going to probably head out here tomorrow and try to be in Texas by Friday if everything works out all right. Yep, taking the Snap-on truck. I actually spent like 3 hours today at the FedEx package place because I have a package that came in like a month ago. The address here in my office was off by 1 digit. So FedEx has had this package for a month, and they literally just called me Saturday to let me know that they've had it. I thought it was just lost. I've contacted the company that I got this stuff from and was basically complaining to them because they never gave me a tracking number or anything, so I just assumed they never sent it. But evidently they did send it, and it's been in the FedEx facility for like a month. And FedEx just now contacted me to let me know that they have it. Frustrating, to say the least. And this freaking stupid thing is still up there. You can still see it. I forgot to click save. Now you shouldn't be able to see it, maybe. We'll see. Anyway, how's everybody doing? How was everybody's weekend? I ended up, had a bunch of stuff to get done this weekend, and I absolutely got nothing done because my friends invited me over they had another friend in town from Arizona, so I went over there and hung out with them and then watched football yesterday and Game of Thrones and got nothing done of all the stuff I needed to get done. I need to get laundry done. I got all this stuff I need to get done, and I've got none of it done. And I had to go get that package today because I'm going out of town, and if I don't get it today, I don't know when I'm going to get it because I don't know when I'll be back. And so I stood over there at the FedEx place outside. It's like 99 degrees today. They won't let you in the building because of COVID. So I ended up standing outside for probably 45 minutes while they search for my package and then come out and tell me, yeah, we can't find it. We're not sure where it is. So the guy that called me, because the guy called me Saturday telling me that he found the package or they've got the package and told me to call him. So I called him back this morning at 10:30 and they never called me back. So it's funny because I always brag about FedEx and then, man, that's pretty horrible service today with FedEx. Pretty disappointed. Matilda says, a chance to have fun with friends trumps chores. Yep. You could come to see me if you're coming to Texas and see your great nephew. Probably not going to get through Dallas, Terry. I'm probably going to stay on 10 and just head straight to West Texas and then straight back to California. I talked to the ex-wife today, and they had some stuff for me, but she just let me know that she's going to be sending it to my office because they're going to probably be out of town, so I probably am not going to be going through Dallas or North Texas. No, Joe P., you're good, buddy. I'm running late, so you're perfect timing. Perfect timing. But don't, Terry, don't take that I don't know for sure, because I may end up, who knows, once I get over there, I may end up coming back through Dallas on the way back to California. Because sometimes I go I-10, and I'll go to like I-10 and El Paso, and then I'll go into West Texas, and then when I get ready to come back, I want to go a different route, and so I don't see the same thing, because there's not a whole lot to see if you've done the I-10 from here to California. From California to Texas, I-10, you get to El Paso. It's pretty desolate all the way across there. And you can bounce up to Dallas and hit Oklahoma City and come back 40, or you can do 20 and then up to 40, or you can do 20 and then down to 10. So Random Nomad says, I drove 40. Yeah, 40 is a much, much better view. And if I do 40, then I get to, I could go through Santa Fe and Albuquerque and Flagstaff and then hit Vegas on the very last stop on the way back. And that's a much, 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 if you've done those two, if you've done 10 and you've done 40, it's the difference between night and day. 40 is very, 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 just very nice, very scenic, I guess we could say. I should probably do 40 and stop at the Grand Canyon, since I've never been to Grand Canyon. Yeah, Kingman, yep, all through there. So how was everybody's weekend? Hopefully great. Mine was pretty, was supposed to be very eventful, and it ended up being very uneventful. So if you guys don't know, Terry S. in the room, that's my sister. I can't make it to his wedding because I work every weekend finishing up my grad school last semester. Well, you're almost done, Terry, so keep at it. It's all good. Take my camera, JLP. Yeah, I'm going to take my camera. I'm trying to figure out what of this podcast stuff I'm going to take, if anything. I may just try to stream on my phone. I don't know. With all your travels, it's hard to believe you haven't seen the Grand Canyon. I know, Matilda, and I've been by there 50 times at least. Yeah, so my younger brother's getting married this weekend. I'd actually planned on being on the road this weekend, but that didn't happen. So, like everything else, I'll be flying down the road trying to get there. So is the volume, is the sound and the video good now? Is everything good? So weird. All I did was turn the mixer off and turn it back on so it could reset itself. Amy Preston says, got the wall off my camper and today started building a fire pit. Amy, I actually saw your picture of that. Looked great. Random Nomad says Amarillo was a cool town. Seriously? I don't know about that. My grandmother used to live in Amarillo on my mother's side. Spent a lot of time in Amarillo. Went to elementary school in Amarillo. Yeah, Terry, my sister says Amarillo's awful. I concur. And Lubbock, where we're from, is about on that same level as well. Random Nomad says, I liked it when I was there. Well, the only good thing about it is they have some free RV hookups, different places around there. Not too far from Amarillo. Lubbock's still better than Amarillo. Yeah. Funny, though, when I was a kid, I actually liked Amarillo better than I did Lubbock. But now Lubbock's pretty much pulled ahead of Amarillo. Even though Lubbock was always bigger than Amarillo, Amarillo used to be a lot more fun. It used to be a lot more fun to be had in Amarillo than there was in Lubbock. Joe P., I have family in Lubbock and Levelland. Oh, well, my brother's getting married in Brownfield, if you know where that's at, Joe P. Right, what is it, southeast of Lubbock. Matilda says, I'll be hitting the road next week, hopefully Sunday, Monday, heading to New Jersey. Wow, the weather will be changing up there. God, I haven't been to New Jersey in a minute. With all the crime that's going on up there, Matilda, it's not the right time to be going. It's almost as bad as L.A. Did they finally get the fires out in Azusa, Matilda? Willman is in Arizona, was a nice little mountain town. Yeah, there's several of those in Arizona. Is Brownfield southwest of Lubbock? I thought it was southeast of Lubbock. But I haven't been there in a long time, so. Yep, you're right, Terry. Southwest of Lubbock. Matilda says my van build. Oh, your van builder's in New Jersey. So you're taking your van up there, Matilda? Amy Preston says I got snowed in Williams when I was going through on my motorcycle. The last time I went through there on the 40, I was on my Harley coming back from Florida, and it was funny because I'd been riding all the way from Florida with just like a t-shirt on. And man, I got to Flagstaff and it got freaking cold. It got down to like 40 degrees, which it always does in Flagstaff, for those of you that know Flagstaff. So I had to pull over and put all my leathers on. I got all of my leathers on, and then I was going to ride a few more hours, but I was zipping down the road so well that I just decided to keep on going. And then I came through the Mojave Desert, the California desert, about 12 a.m. and it was like 104 degrees, and I had all of my leathers on, and I literally almost had a heat stroke before I could get pulled over. Because if you haven't been through there, people are running about 85, 90, and so on a motorcycle, there's no place to pull off and take your leathers off, and it's a long stretch along there before you get into businesses and stuff, until you start hitting the towns, till you get to like the Indio Valley and stuff like that. So it was a little hokey going through there. 65 miles southwest is where we lived. It is southwest. Yeah, I just said that, Terry. I agreed with you. I looked it up. I said, yeah, it's southwest. Joe P says, I've been so busy building, I haven't done much of anything lately. Yeah, but your bus is coming along, Joe P. It's really coming along. I saw your new kitchen. You redid it again. Most snow in Arizona is about 7,000 feet. Yeah. If you're coming through 40 from like Oklahoma City, anytime you go through Flagstaff, anytime that it's any kind of close to the winter months, you're going to get snow in Flagstaff. I used to drive from Dallas to Vegas all the time. You got to go through Flagstaff. It was nothing to get like blinding snow once you hit Flagstaff and have to pull over and just spend the night, wait for the snow to wait for daylight so the snow would kind of dissipate. 40 Viet Gallup, New Mexico. Yep, I've done that one many a times. My brother is in, he's right outside of Hobbs, New Mexico. You think this kitchen is better, Joel P? It looks better. I liked it. Yeah, even Prescott got snow. Yeah, my friend that was in from Arizona, that was in with my other friends that I went to visit this weekend, she's from Prescott. She lives in Prescott. She's actually a school teacher in Prescott. Moved from California here about a year and a half ago, bought a house in Prescott, or right outside of Prescott, and she teaches school in Prescott, which Prescott's really nice. Which Prescott is... What is Prescott? Prescott is northwest of Phoenix and southwest of Sedona. Let me see if I'm right about that one. It's been a minute since I've been to Prescott. Prescott is northwest of Phoenix and southwest of Sedona and Flagstaff. I got that one right. The fastest rain I've ever driven my motorcycle through was in Wisconsin. You know, luckily for me, I've ridden a motorcycle many miles, but I've never really gotten caught in too many downpours. I always pull over. I don't keep riding in the rain. Yeah, 2 hours north. What kind of motorcycle was you riding, Amy Preston? Big drops, fat rain. Yeah, people don't know rain actually hurts on a motorcycle. If it's big fat drops and you're doing 60, 65 miles an hour, that rain stings. So anyway, I guess the question is, did you guys miss me the last two podcasts? Because I missed 2 shows last week, which is the first time in several months I've missed any shows. Random Nomad says, yeah, I used to live in Prescott Valley. Oh, nice. I wouldn't mind living in Prescott Valley. It's nice over there. Random Nomad, you noticed? Well, let's get a Suzuki Boulevard. I don't even know what that is, Amy. What is that? What is it, 1100? A 750? Suzuki Boulevard. Yeah, it's a big street bike. It's a nice bike. I got a Harley Davidson that's like equivalent of that. A Heritage Softail Classic. Matilda says, I drove to Missouri in January. On my way home, had to drive in the snowstorm. I was right behind the snowplow. I didn't have time to wait because I had to get home to catch a flight. Yeah, I've driven lots and lots of miles through the snow. Like I've said on the podcast several times, I used to work up in Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan. So I was up there every 3 months, and it was funny. Well, not funny, but it was. It's probably been 5 years ago now. It seems like yesterday. It was probably 5 or 6 years ago. There was a video of a pile up on one of the Michigan roads. It was like a bunch of trucks. It was like a 75 car or 80 car pile up, and I had driven that exact same stretch many a time, and it's crazy because it snows up there so much that the people they drive at the same speed. We drive in California. You drive like 80, 85 miles an hour, even when it's snow on the road. What is going on, Ronnie Rowe? Dude, haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you, man. Amy says, mine was an 800, but have the smaller and bigger sizes. A very smooth bagger, easy ride, 54 miles per gallon. Oh, it's pretty nice. Matilda says, it was my very first time, kind of scary. Plus, it was in my van. My tires are just okay. Need better ones, but they're pricey. Yeah, I hear that, Matilda. Yeah, driving in the snow if you're on iffy tires is really, that can be nerve-wracking. Luckily for me, when I was driving up there in the snow, I had like a GMC Yukon, and I had BF Goodrich all-terrains. So I would put my truck in four-wheel high, because it's a four-wheel drive, so I'd run in four-wheel high. Means all-wheel drive, and man, I would just cruise on down the road. And I was even pulling a trailer. I'd be doing 80 miles an hour, at least 80 miles an hour. Random Nomad says, coming down out of the hills in Arizona was cool. There's this really cool rest stop just out of sight of Black Canyon City, I believe, or just before it. Yeah, there's some beautiful spots in Arizona. I love northern Arizona high country. Yep, it is nice. Maybe a Buell with a motor tire. The biggest probably for me would be Montana. I was in Montana during the winter time, and it was pretty brutal. That's pretty brutal driving through Montana in the wintertime. It's hard to explain it, because basically what you do is you climb up a mountain and you go down the mountain. Then you'll drive for maybe a mile or two, maybe even 6-7 miles, but it goes like that. And then you got to go up the mountain again, then you got to go down the mountain, up the mountain, down the mountain, up the mountain, down the mountain. And if you're trying to get anywhere in a hurry, you're not going to get anywhere in a hurry. As a matter of fact, that was the roughest stretch of road on my truck of anywhere in the United States was Montana. Random Nomad says I did that in New Mexico. Even Idaho's like that a little bit. A lot of mountain country, big high mountain country, especially in Montana. Wyoming is very, Wyoming's got mountains, but it's also very flat in places, like where the Little Bighorn is. That's very, 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 very flat. There's like a big mountain range. If you've never been to the Little Bighorn, Custer's Last Stand, which is north of Casper, Wyoming. If you've never been up there, it's in between Billings, Montana, and Casper, Wyoming. So if you've never been up there, like where the Little Bighorn is, it's literally out in the middle of nowhere. But there's a mountain range of the Rocky Mountains because it goes up, I believe it's 75 from Denver. And you're looking out your window over there, and there's this mountain range, and you'll literally drive for like 6 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, and that mountain range is still right beside you. It's the craziest thing ever. It takes you hours and hours and hours to finally get around that mountain range, that Rocky Mountain range, to turn west and come back towards like Billings, Montana. Random Nomad says Prescott is very nice. Gets like upper 90s summertime and like 60s or so winter months and like 20s overnight in the winter months. Yeah, I'm actually looking at areas up there myself, maybe even around Flagstaff, but I'm also looking down like around Tucson as well, which Tucson is very warm. Joe P says, I got pulled up here at Awesome Possum Van Recreation with a bus that was a gaming bus today. A gaming bus? What do you mean? Like a Las Vegas gaming bus? He had like a gaming bus. Did he have like video poker and stuff like that? What are we talking about? Tucson actually has a mountain. Yeah, it does. I've spent some time in Tucson. Video games. Oh, okay. He had a video game bus. Nice. I have an Xbox in my truck, an Xbox S. PC gaming. Okay, yeah. I have gaming in my rig. I've got a computer. It's right here on the floor. It's Alienware. Actually, let me grab it. I'll show it to you guys. So if you don't know, this is what is called a small form. Let's see if I can get it focused. It's called a small form PC. And this is an Alienware. And this is the PC that goes in the Snap-on truck. So I can play Call of Duty in the Snap-on truck. And then I've got like a big Dell server down here that I'm running off of right now. And it's funny because this PC actually fits up over because the Snap-on truck has a built-in toolbox. If you've ever been in a Snap-on truck, you've seen that built-in toolbox. It has this little built-in toolbox, and this PC fits right on top of that toolbox like it's made for it. It's so crazy. So I've got to get this. I'm putting some more RAM in it, so I've got to get it. I got to put the RAM in it and get it set back up in the Snap-on truck to take off tomorrow, hopefully. Wednesday, the latest. We got 7 people in the room. Let's see. We got 3 likes. Don't forget to hit that like button, guys. It doesn't pay anything, but it helps the YouTube algorithm. So I need all the YouTube algorithm help I can get. How much RAM? This one has 8 gigs of RAM in it, but I've got 16 right over there on the shelf that I'm going to be putting in it. It's actually funny that you asked that, Joe P, because here's the RAM I bought for this PC. This is $65 right here for 16 gigs for the Alienware. That's all you really need to game is 16 gigabytes of RAM. When you're streaming and everything like I'm doing right now, it's actually 32 is probably better. 32 or 64, but you can get away with 16. Blow it up, that like button. Yeah, guys, if you'd hit that like button, I really appreciate it. Matilda says, I hit it as soon as I get to the live stream so I don't forget. Thank you, Matilda. I really appreciate that. Thank you, Amy Preston. Random Nomad says, I think I'll just stick with consoles myself personally. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I have, like I said, I have an Xbox S in my truck, in the Snap-on truck. But I like a PC better, if that makes sense. For gaming. You get a PS4? Nice. Yeah, PS4s are nice. If you're playing Call of Duty, though, and stuff, I think trying to do it on a professional level or like on a competitive level, I think a PC is pretty much is where it's at. But if you're just screwing around, then a console's perfect. Jill P says, I like to work on PCs. I used to. I don't really like working on them that much anymore. I don't mind upgrading them some. I just put a new video card in this computer that I'm on right now. I upgraded the video card to NVIDIA 1650 Super, which is a 4 gigabyte card. Like it for Blu-ray. Yeah, for the Blu-ray player fact. You know, it's funny because I think my Xbox S, I'm pretty sure it plays Blu-ray disc as well. I've never played a disc in there. I even forget that I could like rent a movie at Walmart and stuff and watch it in there. I completely forget that it's a DVD player as well. I completely forget. I'll usually just watch something on Netflix because I have Netflix. So anyway, I've actually used my 360 all the time to watch movies. Your Xbox 360? Gotcha. Amy Preston says, there was an old Atari left in my camper when I bought it with tons of games. You should have held on to that, Amy Preston, if you didn't. Those things are becoming worth some money, especially if it had a lot of games. It depends. I mean, those things, they go in spurts. Like sometimes they're worth money and then sometimes they're worth nothing. But they're becoming collector's items. And the games for sure. Yeah, here's an old Atari set right here with no games for $159.99. And that's about what they're selling for on eBay used. And some of the games are selling, so like here's a Alien Brigade for the Atari 7800. That's the old original Atari. If you don't remember Alien Brigade, it was like one of the most popular games. Those games sell for like around $100 used. Well, they're all used. You can't get it new anymore. But yeah, they're like $100 just for that one game. Yeah, the E.T. game is worth a ton. Yeah, Space Invaders. There's several of those games that are worth. Asteroids. Those games are worth quite a bit of money. Oh, you still have it, Amy? I'd hold on to it because it's just going to increase in value. NES sells for like $120. Yep. That's it. That's Nintendo system. Yeah, I grew up on Nintendo. Yeah, I played Nintendo. Played Nintendo. I played all those consoles. Sega Genesis, Nintendo, Contra Battle. I researched it, and I'm sitting on about 300. Yeah, with all the games and everything, Amy, that sounds about right. You might be able to get more depending on what games you have. Joe P says, I just gave a kid a Wii 2. I hacked it a few years ago. Oh, nice. My brother-in-law and sister used to have a Wii 2, but I really haven't played the Wii 2 much. So anyway, if anybody's in the room, anybody's in the chat that's not subscribed, if you'd hit that subscribe button, I set up the alerts. I kind of want to see if they work. If anybody hits a subscribe button. I found out it won't work if you unsubscribe and then hit the subscribe, it won't work. But for a new subscriber, it works. Even some Xbox 360 games. I never had the Xbox 360 because we had a PlayStation. But then I decided instead of going with the PlayStation 4, I ended up going with the Xbox. Just because of the Microsoft package thing. And the funny thing is, I have that Xbox S, and I haven't used it. I haven't played it in probably a year. It's in my truck. It's up on a shelf in my truck. It's all set up, ready to play, but I never play it. It takes forever for the games to update. And mine is a 500 gigabyte. My Xbox, I believe, is a 500 gigabyte. And it only holds maybe like 4 or 5 games. 4 games. I have a golf game on there. I have Apex Legends on there. And I have Warface on there. And I have Red Redemption or whatever it is. And I've actually got that on disc, and it came with the Xbox when I bought it, and I've loaded like 80 gigs of that game on there, and I still don't have the whole game on there. Red Redemption or whatever it is. It's supposed to be pretty fun, but I've never played it. Random Nomad says, Joe P, full of every game made for it. Random Nom says, I have had all the systems but the new Xbox. Gotcha. Amy says, I pulled a muscle playing Wii 2, so I just laughed at that, at the kids after that. It's actually good exercise, the Wii 2. I played golf on there and played some few different games. Red Dead Redemption, yeah, thanks Random Nomad. That's exactly the game. It's supposed to be a lot of fun. It's like, what, $50 or $60? And I have it on disc, and I've never got it loaded on my Xbox. And the funny thing is what I'm probably going to do is probably delete like either Red Dead Redemption, or I'm going to delete Apex Legends, because I think I want to go ahead and install Call of Duty Warzone on my Xbox. Joe P says, I know a bar that has a Wii 2 as a bowling night. Yeah. They used to be pretty popular. When I lived in Joshua Tree, there was a bar that did that. They had the Wii 2 for the bowling. The bowling is actually a lot of fun. It's really a lot of fun. You got that little controller thing, and you got a bowl. It's actually a lot of fun, and it's a great bar game. Random Nomad says, we got bar arcades there. Nice. Yeah, so anyway, I'm going to be hitting the road probably tomorrow, so I'm not sure what the schedule is going to be like for the podcast. I'm still going to try to do it, but don't hold me to it. Just kind of look for it at the regular times, because I'm still going to try to do it Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 p.m., and depending on what goes on, I may throw in a couple extra shows on the weekends if I'm bored. Sometimes that's kind of the way it is when you're out there on the road. You're just in the truck, and I'm like, hey, I could do a podcast right now. So I may do that. I do think I'm going to I don't know if I should do this. I'm still on the fence about it. As many problems as I have with my stuff set up here in the office, I don't know if I want to tear things down and take it with me and try to do the show on the road with my mic and everything. So I'm still a little bit on the fence. But I will say that I am actively looking for another place to actually get out of California. So I've been really looking hard and heavy at Arizona, even around Vegas. If I had to move to Vegas, I could do Vegas. I've looked at Las Vegas. I've looked at Arizona, all the way from Flagstaff all the way down to I even looked at a place in Sedona. But Flagstaff all the way down to Tucson. I'm actually looking at El Paso, Austin, even Dallas, my old town that I lived in. Looking at all of those places to see if I can find a place. What I'm really looking for, I think I've said this on here before, is what I'm really looking for is I found one in Tucson and I should have jumped on it. But it was back during the beginning of the COVID days. So I was a little leery of it, and it didn't have full air conditioning. It just had like a window unit, and it was in Tucson. And if you know anything about Tucson gets hot as hell. So I didn't figure one little window unit was going to suffice in this office. Basically what it was an office. It had an office space and then a warehouse in the back. And so the office space was like 400 square feet, which is like 3 times bigger than my office here. But it just had a window unit. The window unit wasn't in a window. It was actually built in where they cut out a hole in the wall. So it was like down close to the ground. But there was like a window unit for air conditioning. And then, but there was a shower there. So it was a live workspace. And then it had a warehouse in the back. I would love to have a place like that, because then I could do my photography, I could do my video work, I could shoot product photography, I could do all of these different things. So that's kind of what I've been looking at, something like that. But now that I'm really ready to get on something, I can't find anything. But then what I have to look at is like wherever I go, and if I do something like that and get a place like that full time, and stop completely van lifing all the time, I am going to have to, I'll have to find some type of income, some type of job probably. It's funny. I was going to show you guys this. You probably can't see it. Let me see if I can bring it up. I don't know if you guys can see this or not. Let's see. I don't know if you guys can see that. Can you guys see that? It looks like it's zoomed in enough. So this is Bertha. When I I'd been in van life maybe a few months, since September, I think. And this is October of 2015. So this was when I was working on American Crime Story, and I was actually boondocking in downtown LA. And it's funny because downtown LA was so safe back in those days to boondock. Like I was right in the middle of downtown LA, and I had a 4:48 in the morning call time. So I was up already like at 3:30 in the morning, getting ready to go to work. So, what about parts of Nevada? Like, I don't know much about Pahrump. I don't know too much about places like that. I want like a small city, like El Paso, Tucson. I don't want to do Phoenix. Phoenix is too big. I'm looking for like just a smaller city. I've even looked like out in Joshua Tree again, where I used to live. I just don't want to be in California, though. I'm trying to get out of California. I've had enough of California. Matilda says, have you gotten the paperwork for Bertha? So no, I haven't got the paperwork for Bertha, but I got a hold of the DMV the other day. I actually was able to call into the California DMV and actually got a hold of somebody. It took 2 hours. I called them and I had to put my number in a line, and then they called me back. There was a 2.5 hour wait. And so they called me back, and come to find out, the reason I've never gotten the title for Bertha is because I've never went and got Bertha smog checked. So the title is in limbo until I get Bertha smog checked. And I never really wanted to get Bertha smog checked unless I knew I was going to sell it for a fact here in California, because I was thinking I would probably try to sell Bertha in Arizona, and I was thinking about I was going to register birth in Arizona. That way you don't have to worry about the smog check, because birth is in 1982. The simple fact in California that you still have to freaking smog check a classic vehicle like that just drives me up the wall. So I had no idea that the state of California would hold up my title because I did not ever get Bertha smogged. I paid for the title transfer and paid for everything, but they put everything on hold until you get until I get the smog. Phoenix area still smogs. Yeah, they still smog. Most of the major cities does. Texas the same way, Dallas, Houston. But that's why you live in that's why I'm looking at smaller places. I think Tucson smogs as well, but if you get outside of Tucson, I don't think they do. But my Snap-on truck is a diesel, and nobody, even California, does it smogs. They don't even smog my diesel. It's a Cummins diesel. Random Nomad says Minnesota, Wisconsin don't for most part. Yeah. Too cold up there. I'm not moving up there though. But anywhere that I move, I don't want to have to deal with smog or any of this BS that you have to deal with in California. That's one of the reasons I'm leaving California, is to get away from all that crap. Yeah, I think most of the major metropolitan areas do, which it makes sense because of smog. You know, they don't want smog. The thing that irritates me, though, is like in California, so like out in Joshua Tree, if you've never been to Joshua Tree is the freaking Mojave Desert, dude. It is freaking country. You still got to get a smog because you're in California. But you can drive right across the border into freaking Parker, Arizona, and there's no smog. It doesn't make any, it drives me crazy with California BS. It's one reason I'm ready to get out of California and the California BS. I've gotten comfortable with this office though, because everything is just like so convenient here, and I haven't really found anything I like. The main thing is my budget. I don't even want to spend, if I'm going to spend $1,200 a month on something, then I might as well just get like a nice apartment or something. Random Nomad says, I lived in the northwest deserts of Arizona. Nice. Joe P says, oh, I remember the LA smog. No thanks. Yep. Amy says, Parker looks nice in pictures and videos. It's got a casino there. It's okay. It's a very little town. Parker's super, super small. And what most people don't know about Parker is like where the casino and everything is in Parker, where the Walmart is, the casino, all of that part of Parker, which is the main drag right down the middle of Parker, that part of Parker is actually all Indian land. That's actually Indian reservation land. It's all owned by the Indians, the Native American, the natives around there. And then the other part of Parker, where you come into town from like California, that is actually not Indian, but all the cool stuff in Parker is all on Indian reservation. It's pretty cool. Havasu, yeah, Havasu's all right. Bullhead City, yeah, that's actually where I have my Snap-on truck registered, is in Bullhead City. I actually register it in Parker, but it's my address is there in Bullhead City. I wouldn't say it's nice, but it's interesting. Laughlin's got several casinos. And then you got what, California City on the other side in California. Joel P says the mayor of Quartzsite just died. Well, I didn't know that. Are you in Quartzsite, Joel P? For those of you that's never been to Quartzsite, Quartzsite's not nice. It's the thing about Quartzsite is it's a big RV place, but it's a desolate little town. There's not much there at all. There's one little drag. I mean, there's some truck stops and there's some gas stations, and There's a lot of stuff for like, there's Dollar General and stuff like that, but there's no Walmart or anything in Quartzsite. I'd much rather be in Parker than Quartzsite. But the thing about Quartzsite is Quartzsite's very RV or van life friendly. They just leave you alone. Parker's not like it. Parker will bug you. I think they've actually banned all parking in the Parker Walmart, which I don't blame them, because I went to the Walmart there in Parker when I was there for RTR and the van build, and I spent a couple of nights there in the Walmart parking lot, and there was a lot of rigs there that were just living in the parking lot. Nevada is supposed to be a good state for nomads to call home state, as I understand. Yeah, it is, Amy. As a matter of fact, I think Bob Wells, I'm pretty sure that he calls that his home state is Nevada. And the great thing about Nevada, though, one of the greatest thing about Nevada, though, is they'd have no state income tax like Texas. Joe P says, have you heard Big Trouble in Little Quartzsite documentary? Check it out. No, I haven't seen that. I'll have to check it out. But the thing about Parker, the difference with Parker and Quartzsite is, with Quartzsite, it's so RV friendly because there's so many van lifers and RV people that live in and around Quartzsite. That's the majority of everybody. But then you go to Parker, and there's a lot of nomads around Parker. And if you go to the casino, it's just full of rigs. The parking lot is just full of rigs. We actually had Thanksgiving dinner at the casino last November. Is it last November 2019 during RTR? We actually went to or the van build, I guess. Maybe it was the van build. I can't remember. I just know that I was in Parker, and several of us, it was me and, gosh, who else was it? It was other YouTubers. It was, gosh, I can't even think of them right now. My mind just went blank. It was me and, I hate it when that happens. But anyway, it was me and several other YouTubers. We were all there for Thanksgiving. We had a group of, I think there was like 26 of us. 26 of us. Pandemonium was there. Who else was there? Van Life Sheldon's Travels was there. I'm trying to think who all was there. There was several van lifers that we saw in there. Can't remember everybody that was there. Always hate not being able to shout at everybody that was there. Yeah, Jamie was there. I didn't really see Jamie. I saw Jamie at the van build. I didn't really see him at the casino. Random Nomad says, the Desert Bar in Parker is a cool place. I liked it. I don't think I went there, Random Nomad. The Desert Bar, is that in the casino, or is that just in Parker? Or is that the bar that's out in the desert that you got to drive to in a four-wheel drive? Oh, I saw Batch. Batch was there. Yeah, there was a whole bunch of people at the casino in Parker. Yeah, Meek was there. I saw Meek at RTR. I don't think I saw him at the casino. I saw that on Panda's channel. Scott and Terry. Yeah, Scott and Terry that's actually who I was with. I actually have video. I should actually probably edit it one of these days. I still have video from when we were all there. As a matter of fact, I was parked right next to Scott and Terry. There was a little group of us, like probably 6 rigs, I guess. And then when we all met to go into the casino for the Thanksgiving. They had like a Thanksgiving buffet kind of thing. Yeah, and it was, you could pay, I think it was $15 for all you could eat. You could like buy some kind of, you could get some kind of free tokens if you signed up with the casino, and it made instead of the meal being like $17.99, it went down to like $14.99. So like for $15 you got and it was delicious food. I was really, really, really impressed because I'm not really a buffet guy. It's not my thing. And usually the buffet stuff is just, it's maybe a little bit better than hospital food at some of these buffets. And their Thanksgiving dinner was it was incredible. It was great. One of the best Thanksgiving dinners I've had in a long time. It's the desert bar out in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, I've never been there. I've seen it on people's YouTube channels and stuff that's been out there. I've never been out there. Amy Preston says, took a trip to Ottman, Arizona years ago with all the donkeys everywhere. Yeah, I've never done that one either. Random note, yeah, casinos are not bad if you have an RV. Exactly. Like there's down in Indio, there is a casino down there in the Indio or the Coachella Valley. I can't think of the name of it right now, but it's got like this huge RV parking out there. And my friends Tom and Lori from Tom and Lori's RV Life, they've parked out there for a month. You can literally park out there and live out there, and it's in California here, but you can literally go into the casino and eat in the casino and get your beverages. It's really great. I parked there. I might park there probably on my way to Texas. I'm actually going to go through Parker. I'm going to head from here to California. I'll probably head out to Palm Springs, Indio. I may make it on into Parker. I may go straight into Parker and then spend the night in Parker because the tags on my Snap-on truck actually expire next month in November. So I'm going to go ahead and do my tags and everything there in Parker before I head on to Texas. Cali Desert, yep. Yeah, there's a lot of Cali Desert from Death Valley to Joshua Tree. I just noticed that there's another young lady, I guess the other day I was reading and looking, there was another young lady that's disappeared out at Joshua Tree. That was a big thing when I lived out at Joshua Tree, where the city slickers and people just don't understand, man, how dangerous that desert is. How dangerous that desert is in the summertime. That the Mojave Desert in the summertime, it will kill you in a matter of hours if you take things for granted and you screw up. There was always, when I was living out there, that was one of the big things. And they don't keep it a secret, but you don't see it you see it in the LA Times and stuff like that, but it's kind of downplayed. But you always see it like when the hikers and stuff disappear. Like when I was living out there, like this little really young Asian couple, like in their early 20s, I think they're 22, 23. And they disappeared out there, and I went and helped search for them for 2 weeks. I probably logged about 150 miles searching for them. And it was so funny because where their bodies were found, I literally almost went that way several different times, but I was like, that's so rocky that way. There's no way they would have went that way, because I heard they had tennis shoes on, and I had hiking boots on and everything. And you come up to this little path, and you can go on the regular, the very easy path, or you could drift to the right a little bit, and it turned into really rocky, really, about a 7 to an 8 when it comes to terrain, where you really need your poles and everything, your hiking poles. But they went that way and ended up running out of water. And I guess they had a gun with them, so they basically shot themselves and put themselves out of their misery because they had run out of water. And the people that did finally find their bodies, said that they found them both embracing each other, like they were spooning. He was holding her. So they think he shot her to put her out of her misery, and then he shot himself. Super, super sad. Random Nomad says, I think I lived in the Mojave Desert when I lived in Dolan Springs, Arizona. Yeah, it probably is the Mojave. I remember when I first moved out to Joshua Tree, there was a couple from I think they were from Denmark. Pretty sure it was Denmark. One of the Finnish countries. I think it's Denmark. And they were visiting LA. And we're already an hour and 10 minutes into this thing. Since I had technical difficulties, I'm going to run a little bit over. But this couple from, I think, it might have been Finland, Denmark, one of those countries. They were visiting LA. So they were here in LA as tourists, doing the tourist thing. But they were dreaming about Joshua Tree because they had seen, you see all the stuff about Joshua Tree. And so people want to go to Joshua Tree. And it was Jim Morrison from The Doors. It was one of his favorite. Joshua Tree and Paris was his two favorite cities. So there's this real fascination with Joshua Tree. So this little couple that was visiting LA decided to, they had a couple of days to spare, and instead of, sightseeing here in LA, they decided to rent a car and drive out to Joshua Tree. Alan Parson, yep. Too Well, Haswell, yep. So they ended up renting a car here in LA, and they drove out to Joshua Tree. And they got out to Joshua Tree, not knowing the area, the middle of the summertime, and they went down one of the roads, and they got down the road, and they ended up having to try to turn around. And they were in this little four-banger rental car, and they turned around, and I can't remember if they got stuck or if they had a flat. I'm pretty sure they got stuck. I think when they turned around, they got stuck. And so they had to, I think it was 6-7 miles back into town. And so they ended up abandoning their car and trying to huff it back to town, and they both died of heat exposure. So, it killed them they didn't get like a mile or 2 miles from their car. Like you're talking 112, 115, 116 degrees in the summertime. Like when I lived in Joshua Tree, I always made sure that during the summertime, I always carried around like one of those like Icelandic or, like those gallon jugs of water. Like it would get sloshed around because I would never open it, but it was just I would keep it in my truck, like under the sink or in the back, just in case of an emergency. Because you never know if you break down or something out there, you're gonna Camelback. You're gonna actually need You're gonna need a lot of water to get somewhere. But I would do a lot of hiking out there in the summertime, but I would always go hike at night. Which if you saw my 411 about Joshua Tree National Park, I was out there in the national park in the middle of the night. Anyway, guys, we are pushing an hour and 15 minutes, so we're going to cut this thing off. I ended up spending like 15 minutes trying to get this thing working in the beginning. So Random Nomad says, yeah, Texas kind of scared me a bit driving through it. I've never had that feeling in Texas. Texas, it gets up 98, 99, sometimes 102, 103. If you're out there like in Big Bend country, like down there, like around El Paso, there's long stretches out there, especially around El Paso on the I-10. There's long stretches out there where you're out in the middle of nowhere. But it's a little bit different. Like Joshua Tree is different. Anywhere in this, anywhere in any Death Valley, there's been so many people disappeared in these. If you don't know that they've died of heat exposure. There was a family that went out to Death Valley. I don't know, it was back in the it was a big deal. You can find this on the internet. There's like videos dedicated to this family that took like a they were trying to get to where the Mansons were or something. Seems like they were trying to get to where the Mansons were, but they were out in Death Valley, and it was another one of these European families, and they took a minivan. They took a minivan out to Death Valley and went down this road to try to get to like where the Manson family stayed out there, and you need like a 4-wheel drive Jeep. And they tried to take a minivan down through there and got the minivan stuck, and it was a whole family. And they disappeared, and they didn't find them. They found them, like the mother was in one spot, and the dad and the little boy was, miles away from her. So they had split up, and they think they got delirious and went different directions, and they all died of heat exposure out there in the desert. But I used to make, when I lived in Joshua Tree, because the locals all know what's going on. Every time there's people missing in the park, people know it. And so, I mean, it circulates through the locals. Does that make sense? So even though if it's not big news here in LA, it's big news out in Joshua Tree that there's people that are missing. And so I would go out there, and I didn't really volunteer with the official teams, but when there would be people missing, I would go out there and just, search for myself. But people take Joshua Tree for granted. They think it's this, and it is. It's this beautiful scenic desert, but it will get you in a hurry if you're not prepared. And a lot of people go out there from LA. These city slickers from LA go out there and just get themselves in trouble in the summertime. I mean, the locals don't even get out and hike in the summertime. So you would see all of these tourists coming out in the summertime to go hiking and stuff, and you're just like shaking your head like, what in the hell are these people doing? All right, guys, that is going to do it for this Monday episode of American Nomad. I'm not sure if I will be here Wednesday, but definitely, look around 7 p.m. Wednesday. If everything works out, I'll try to do a show Wednesday, but no promises with everything that's going on. I may be driving. I may be on the road. So not sure what's going to happen. But anyway, thank you guys so much for joining me. Matilda, Joel P., Amy Preston, Random Nomad, my sister Terry, and anybody else. Hopefully I'm not missing anybody. Thank you guys so much for joining in, and thanks for being patient with me trying to get my freaking technical difficulties ironed out at the beginning of the show, like always. Thank you guys. That's going to do it for this episode. Have a great week, guys.
Thank you for listening to the American Nomad Podcast. Until next time, keep looking up because that's where it all is.
Did you guys hear the outro? The music's not playing. It's showing it's playing, but it's not playing. I don't hear it. Do you guys hear it? I don't hear the outro music. Oh, okay, I guess it is playing. Yeah, I had it muted. I hear it now. Thanks, guys. Have a good weekend. A good week.